Hello, my name is Charlene Carla. Welcome to NASA. This is my narcissistic abuse survivor autobiography where I share my testimony to help you along your healing journey. Now, today you can see I am all dressed up. Could have actually put my flag behind me. I actually have a big one that would have fit on this wall. How many of you guys know what country this beautiful flag is for? You got the earrings, y'all, the bracelet, everything. Yes, you guessed it. This is Dominica. My mother is from Dominica, not the Dominican Republic. I do not speak Spanish. This is the nature island of the Caribbean, Dominica. Only been there once, but I plan to go again. So if any of you guys are from Dominica, hit me up on like IG or Facebook or something, and so you can be my tour guide when I finally get to go back. Okay, so you can also see this shirt says it's in my DNA. This is in my DNA. So today we are going to talk about getting to the root. That is one of the most important things that I learned. Not free living, of course, CBU, Chainbreaker University, getting to the root of the issue. Again, us ending up in these narcissistic relationships, that was just a symptom. There's a root cause somewhere, probably something in our DNA, maybe a generational curse, familiar spirit, the trauma maybe that we've experienced. It's probably in our DNA, the root cause of how we ended up with people like Cookie Monster. So yeah, that's part of our healing journey so that we don't go back to another narcissistic relationship. There was somewhere in our lives, in our DNA, there was a foundation laid in our past. And we keep talking about ancestors, because our family tree, again, remember? Enemies, little stenographer, taking notes on our family from the beginning of time. So there was a foundation laid somewhere that caused us to be susceptible, basically, to narcissists. So today we are going to discuss that. I'm going to be talking about my father, he's been deceased for over 22 years. But I'm just now figuring out, he was the first narcissist in my life. It's in my DNA. I had no idea. Tell me in the comments if you know or just found out or still don't know if mommy, daddy, grandma, grandpa, Uncle Otis, Aunt B, somebody may have been a narcissist in your life. Doesn't mean that you are, but it means that you may have been conditioned for, being treated how you were treated, how we've been treated in these narcissistic relationships. So we have to start with scripture. Y'all know that. Come on, you know that. So I'm just going to read a quick one. Last week was a long one. I get it. When I was talking to my queens, my beautiful, beautiful queens. I love my ladies, my women of God. We were talking about being a Proverbs 31 woman, being a virtuous woman. So that was a very long passage of scripture. So today I'm going to be nice to you. Since I went like this, that's why you're going to go like this today. Okay, you're welcome. So I'm just going to be reading one quick scripture from Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7. And it reads, "Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding." We have to get an understanding about narcissism, not just about the topic, not just about them, those people, we need an understanding about our DNA, the root cause, what made us think that, I think it's okay for me to be abused. I'll just sit here and be abused. There's a reason why we took that abuse, took that pain. It was like, I don't want to say second nature, but, again, that conditioning, that, being desensitized basically to being treated not so nicely. So, like I said, father is deceased. And, wow, I started out as a daddy's girl, and but my parents were divorced. Many of you guys, parents are divorced. When I was like 4 or 5, I remember, and so it was just me, my mom, and my sister. That's it for almost 21 years of my life. That was it. So my dad was there because, like I said, I was a daddy's girl. So that was issue number 1, because, okay, I'm a daddy's girl. Daddy's not in the house. So kind of by myself. And it was, remember I keep saying, I'm a different person. I'm a changed person. I'm changed. I had to change. I had to get delivered. I had to get saved. Yeah. So when I was a child, I was an extra, completely different person. And I was just mad. Ooh, something in my DNA. I was just mad all the time. And I know at some point I did want to go live with my dad. I'll probably tell you that story near the end of this video. I'm definitely gonna have to break this up because there's a lot to tell about my daddy. And so I was a daddy's girl, but again, he's not there. So I was just angry that I felt stuck with my mother and my sister. God bless them. I love them. Just wasn't ever close to them. My mother's still alive. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. She's like, 86 years old. And yeah, I didn't ever feel emotionally connected to my mother. I loved her. She loved me. She took care of me my whole life. I'm so grateful for her. Oh my goodness, you have no idea what. Single mom. She raised me. Daddy didn't raise me. Even though I'm daddy's girl, he didn't raise me. Barely gave us child support. I'll talk about that in another video. Okay, so mommy took care of me. But I remember thinking, like my entire childhood, I remember thinking, okay, daddy's always telling us, I love you. Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. But he didn't show us. My mom didn't tell us, but she showed us like 24/7. So it was a strange world that I lived in. But when you're growing up, tell me in the comments, you're growing up, you're not thinking, oh gee, this is a dysfunctional family. Oh well, hope I don't turn out dysfunctional. You're just living. You don't know anything else. So I didn't know anything else. I didn't, the video last week, I'm telling you guys my whole life, I'm like, had marriage as an idol. I want to be married. I want to be married. I want to be loved, blah, blah, blah. I never saw that. I didn't grow up with a healthy marriage in front of me. A man loving a woman in a good, wonderful way in front of me. Like I said, my parents were divorced. I'm 4 or 5. I don't remember being one big happy family. I have some pictures. That's it. But there was something in my DNA that was going to affect me for the rest of my life. Well, most of it. It was going to affect the relationships that I had. the men I ended up with that I probably shouldn't have been with. Oh gosh. I remember watching that movie, Think Like a Man. And this may sound crazy. I keep on telling you guys stuff that sounds crazy, but this may sound crazy. I actually cried at the end of that movie. That's a funny movie. It's a really funny movie. And I cried like a baby. I went to my bed and I cried like a baby because it hit me that I wasn't being treated right. And worse than that, I didn't do anything about it. I just, okay, you don't have to open the door for me. I opened my own door. Because I never saw my dad open the door for my mom. He didn't, I don't know, I don't even remember him opening the door for me and my sister, honestly. Car doors, door doors, I really don't remember. And it wasn't until, again, thank God, God moved me down to Florida. God moved me to Florida. I have, again, changed to a different person than I was. Almost 20 years, I've been in Florida now. But I had a good friend of mine that was like a brother to me. And he always opened the door for me. We were just friends. We're brother and sister in the spirit, right? And he's like, I was raised like this, to open the door for, any woman, any age, no matter who or what she is, strangers, little old ladies. And so he taught me a man is supposed to open the door for a woman, period. And I was like, wow, I don't have to open my own door. Doesn't that sound something so simple? But it's like a respect. It's an honor. We're supposed to, when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. And he's supposed to love her as Christ loves the church. And a woman is supposed to love and honor her husband as unto the Lord. And it seems so simple, reading it in the Bible. But when you don't see that it's not mirrored in front of you, you just settle for whatever because you weren't taught. So it's like my dad only had 2 kids, 2 daughters. That's it that I know of. If you're my brother, my sister, look me up. Like, I actually literally found a first cousin on Ancestry.com that I never knew I had until after my father passed away. Another story. Anyways. So, yeah, how many of you guys, you didn't see, true love or healthy love, demonstrated in front of you by your parents, even by your siblings? Like I said, me and my sister, I love my sister. She's beautiful. Love her kids. They're beautiful. I don't talk to her right now. We were just never close, like ever. Like for 5 seconds here, 5 seconds there, and 5 seconds this year, and 5 seconds that year. Other than that, we just weren't close. And I kind of, one of the reasons is that I feel like we always shared a room. So like I said, I didn't leave my mom's house until I went off to college. I was, 21 at that point. So almost for 20 years of my life, stuck in this room with this chick. And we didn't get, we were just like oil and water. And I remember one of my dad's wives, I have to do multiple videos. One of my dad's wives mentioned the term sibling rivalry. And I was maybe 10 or 11 at that point, but that phrase stuck in my head. So like my mom and dad are seeing they only have 2 kids. My mom only has 2 kids. My dad only has 2 kids. That's it. It's just the 2 of us. That's it. And so they see us not getting along, and nobody ever, kind of stepped in and said, let's get to the root. Let's see what's in the DNA. So yeah, usually in narcissistic family, Mom or dad is narcissist. Maybe the other one is usually an Ahab, and then you have multiple kids. So somebody's the golden child who's probably going to turn into a narcissist, and the other kids may be scapegoats and black sheep. How many of you guys? Black sheep in the family, and that was me. And it's usually the truth teller, because I was like one of those. The truth hurts, so deal with it. Anyways, again, I was an angry child. Not angry birds, angry child, okay? That's who I was. Angry bird, that's funny. Okay. Yeah, so, and I was so angry. This is how angry I was. And I remember being angry. I don't remember being bad per se until teen years again, probably another video. But I was so angry, so disconnected from my mother and my sister, who I'm living with. I was so disconnected from them, so mad that I was disconnected from them and away from daddy. I love daddy so much that my mother and sister thought that I was like possessed by the devil. Like, how bad do you have to be for your mother to think that? That sounds kind of bad. Again, it's not like I wasn't starting fires and shooting cats with BB guns or anything. I was just mad. I just had a temper. And I used to blame it on, I just got some, hot Caribbean blood in my veins here. And no, there was something in there making me mad. But one of the main reasons why I could tell you now, like I said, once you find out, one person is a narcissist in your life, now you have the definition of that type of entity. I'll call them. You start looking at other people and you go, oh, you were. But compared to Cookie Monster, like my dad was a saint. Anybody's a saint compared to Cookie Monster. Anyways. So if I'm looking at Cookie Monster like the main numero uno narcissist that I have ever met in my life. So he was so bad, so evil, diabolical, so angry, so everything, that I would never stop and think my dad was, or anybody, and really almost anybody else on this planet was compared to him. I just thought it was him. But when I stopped, like literally just one day, my beautiful lounge chair, I told you it was comfy, and God was just started downloading, like playing a recorder of, how you watch your old home videos on the old projector type stuff. That's what God started doing. Like, remember your dad did this? Remember your dad said this? Remember this? Remember that? But again, because I would not ever think that my dad was a narcissist, he never yelled. When I say never did I ever hear him raise his voice. He never cursed. Never saw him mad. Never. But we know there's different types of narcissists, and then there's different degrees underneath those different types. That's why we have to get an understanding, get that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's the principal thing. And so God just started telling me, well, remember when one of my videos, I mentioned how I said my earthly father, I would ask him for things. Remember one time, and he wouldn't give it to me. So I remember one time I bought a car. I'm gonna have to mention that one. Have a whole discussion about my cars because I named them all, okay? There's like a story behind each car. So my first car was named Vanessa. And she's a little red Hyundai Excel. But she was a lemon. Not fun. Spending money on her. So the first thing I had to spend money on was like a brand new transmission. I mean, I drove it off the lot, and like the next day, basically, I had to bring it back to the lot and say, something's wrong with my car. And so I asked my dad, I'm like, Daddy's girl, people, Daddy, can I please borrow? Not even give. Can I please? I'm working, ladies and gentlemen. I paid my car note, paid my car insurance, paid for gas. When I got my car, when I got a job, my mother didn't have to give me a dime for anything. I'm just going off real quick. I'll come right back. I paid for my prom, my senior pictures, grad night, this and that. My mother didn't have to pay for anything because I worked. For me, I wanted my own money. I wanted my own car. Stop. Okay. So I asked to borrow. I didn't say give me. I said, can I please borrow? May have been like $700 or something for this transmission. And my dad was like, no. And he was kind of like, I don't even remember if he said it, but I feel like he was insulted that I didn't ask him to take me to go get my car. I don't remember him ever offering to come with me to get my car. Like, if I'm daddy's girl, aren't we talking at least once a week? Don't you know what's going on in my life? Don't you know I have a license now and I'm probably going to want a car? He could have bought me a car, people. This is how much money the dude had. He could have bought me a car. He could have bought my sister a car. He could have did a lot of things. He didn't. And, when I grew up, you tell the baby mamas something and the baby daddies. You don't ever have to tell your kids, your mother's this or your dad is this and they did this and they said that. You don't ever have to tell them anything. When they grow up, they gonna look and be like, oh, what's wrong with daddy? What's wrong with mama? They will know. You don't have to say a word. I suppose I grew up, I'm just thinking, okay, my father is selfish. That's all I'm thinking. Again, I didn't know how to spell the word narcissist until earlier this year. So, but God starts reminding me, remember when he didn't lend you money for your car? Remember how he never brought you around his family? Remember? From Cali. I'm the only person in my family from Cali. My mother's from Dominica. Praise God. My father's from Chicago. My sister was actually born in New Jersey. So I'm the only person that's born in California where we lived, for years and years and years together. So my dad had a couple of brothers that lived there, and they, like me, left because of the earthquakes. So I didn't have uncles, aunts, grandparents. Remember, like I said, grandpa didn't grow up with grandparents. Both grandfathers were already dead before I was born. Only grandparent I ever had was my father's mother. But he didn't bring us around her. Now, they're all back in New Jersey. His mother, his aunt, all 99% of his siblings and their families and blah, blah, blah. And so I always just used to think, okay, my dad is like bougie or something, and he thinks they're ghetto or something, and maybe that's why he doesn't want to bring us around. I don't know. But he was there all the time, so you got 2 kids, dude. Bring us along. But he didn't. He was always going, always traveling. Like, maybe that's why I love to travel. He was always traveling, not with his children. The only time I remember him bringing me and my sister someplace, I feel like we took a train. He only did train. That's a weird part. Let me just get over here for a second. How are you in the Air Force, but you don't like to fly planes? Okay, just had to ask that question because my dad did not fly anywhere. He always took the train everywhere he went. But he was in the Air Force. He was in the Army Reserve, but he was in the Air Force. Like, he went to Vietnam, I think. I don't know. He didn't tell us about his life. when I tell you, when I see people with my dad's last name, I'm like, are you my cousin? Are you my brother? Are you my sister? Like, I'm like, oh, are you? Do I know you? Are you in my DNA? Because they could be and I wouldn't know. Remember I told you the cousin on my list on Facebook? And half of them I haven't met? That's my dad's fault. Okay. So God is telling me this. My dad got married, like I said, a couple of wives, kind of lost track, even though they all look like my mother. It's kind of funny. He actually got married on a train. Like I said, he always traveled by train. He got married on an Amtrak train to one of these wives. Actually, the wife that I actually kind of liked. If you were about to get married on a train, don't you know that? And since you know that, don't you want your only 2 children there with you? We weren't invited. We were not on that train. It was on the news. His wedding was on the news because he got married on an Amtrak train. They wore green for hope. It didn't work because it didn't last. But why were we not there? Tell me, people. Tell me in the comments if you understand it. So God started playing this projector, this home movie of my father, what he did and didn't do, what he said and didn't say, and I just sat right there in my lounge chair, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. But so, like I said, there's different types of narcissists. So my dad was just a different type than Cookie Monster. Completely like polar opposites. But still that same spirit of, I can't love you even though you're my child. I can't love you even though you're my spouse. The same spirit of, I'm saying it. Like I said, my dad always said it, but he didn't show it. Didn't I say something about same demons? One of the same demons. They're just acting differently. And so my mother used to tell, again, I'm going to have to break up this video. My mother used to tell me stories about my dad. God, it was funny. I have to tell you this one because it's super duper funny. My mom told me she came home one day from wherever and she's about to cook dinner. My mother's a great cook. So she puts on the oven like any good wife and mother would do. And she starts smelling something. Something's burning. All I did was put on the oven to warm it up, right? She opens the oven. Guess what's in the oven, people? My dad's wallet. Just let me just throw this out here. If you're gonna try to hide money from your spouse, don't put it in the oven. What? You know your wife is a cook. You know she's gonna cook you dinner. You're trying to hide money from her, so you put it in the oven? Okay. So my mom would tell me crazy stories like that. And so my mother's not a liar. So I believe everything that she's told me all these years I'm growing up, but I couldn't ever imagine it because I just kept saying, not my daddy's so sweet. He do nice. He no mean. He no say bad word. Stuff like that. But I tell you one thing, my dad was not a man of God, I'll say. Not a church-going man at all. And I know he was raised in the church. I know it because his entire family, was in the church. Probably Baptist. I don't know. Again, I don't know them. Thanks, Daddy. So, but, like I said, we were raised Catholic, so I'm thankful. Even though it's religion, man-made traditions, at least we knew Jesus. At least we knew God. At least we, start off, our lives on the right path of there is a God and you should obey him. No, we didn't even have a Bible in the house, but praise God. We went to church every Sunday. Okay, so praise God. The only time I saw my dad at church was when me or my sister was like doing, the Catholic stuff. First communion, confirmation, baptism, not baptism, christening. Christen the babies. Don't even know it's happening. So he was in church for that. That was it. He didn't even spell Jesus to us. I know he blessed his food. That was it. So again, God's like, yeah, your dad didn't know me. Again, another sign that he wasn't even Cookie Monster was a fake Christian. He would sit in church like this. Why are you there if you don't sit like that? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Anyways, so my dad just didn't go to church. See, same spirit. They're just acting differently. Both narcissists. With all thy getting, get and understanding, people. Understand. So keep your eyeballs, again, being open. Don't just look for somebody who's yelling, screaming, acting a fool, in a narcissistic rage. Don't just look at that person and say, oh yeah, you're definitely a narcissist. Because it could be the sweet little old lady sitting in the back of the church with her church hat. Talking about folk, gossiping and whatnot, judging and whatnot. Get an understanding. Pray for the spirit of discernment. Oh my goodness. This is why. Like I said, not a horror film. Because it's scary now. Do you remember that movie, Invasion of the Body Snatchers? It's like, they're everywhere. I remember the lady in the movie said, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? Like, because we're everywhere. That's how the narcissists are. They're everywhere. So just get an understanding. Ask the Lord for wisdom. Ask, what is in my DNA? Let's get to the root. Like, this is just going to be this is going to be video A about my dad and about the root. There's so much more. Because when I said God just started just that projector. So start thinking back. Family, start thinking back, because again, that set the foundation. Because if I'm daddy's girl, but daddy isn't loving me like daddy should be loving his children, by the time I get to Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike, I'm not going to know what love is. Even though I'm looking for that, because I know I didn't get it at home. Definitely not from daddy. And I'm daddy's girl. Ooh, so yeah, like I said, this is video part A. But yeah, please. Again, that was one of the first things I learned. Can't even talk about the spirits of rejection and abandonment yet, because oh my goodness, that's something else that I've learned. Again, remember I said that went from Chainbreaker University, now I'm in a different course about inner healing and deliverance. We spent 1,000 hours just talking about that spirit of rejection, because it started, I think I told you that way back yonder, very first video, I said my story of narcissism began in the womb. I'm gonna have to tell you guys that in the next video. Stay tuned. I hate to do like a cliffhanger, like a Marvel movie, but yeah, so much more to come. I'm not gonna sit here. I didn't want to, do a 19-hour long video for you guys to fall asleep on, but I wanted to get this ball rolling about getting to the root. That is so important for your healing, because again, you could, okay, I'm out of the house of, away from Cookie Monster. I'm no contact with Cookie Monster. that was just the beginning. I hadn't even learned how to spell the word healing yet until I started learning about narcissism. And then until I found my tribe to teach me, to give me some greater wisdom, knowledge, and understanding about the root. The root. So please connect. Please get in a support group, in a community. Again, people that understand the language. There's a whole glossary out there. I'm always talking about Hoover and love bombing and word salad and this and that. It's an entire language created just for these people. Again, people is a compliment just for these entities, okay? And so for us to heal, get to the root so that we don't, I'm not trying to meet another narcissist. I'm not trying to marry another narcissist. Y'all can stay way over there. Way over there. Because now my eyes are open. Now I have greater wisdom, knowledge, and understanding with all my, I'm getting it with all my getting. All of it, all of it. God said if you need wisdom, ask. Ask God. He will give you wisdom. He will give you understanding. He will give you that knowledge. And he's saying people are going to perish for a lack of knowledge. I almost perished for a lack of knowledge. Get an understanding. Get to the root so you can continue along your healing journey. Again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you for liking this video, for subscribing to my channel, for hitting that notification bell, for leaving positive comments. Please, if you have some questions for me that I can answer in parts B, C, or D of this getting to the root stuff, let me know. I probably won't be dressed like this next time, but I just wanted to, I have to make a point here, that it's in our DNA. The root is in our DNA. And so we have to look there first. And again, if you want to contact me directly, takeupthysword.com, and all of my social media links are in the channel description. Thank you so much for watching. You guys be blessed and you be safe.